Hi, welcome today to Zoom Around Town with Jaimi. My special guest today is Realtor Farah Kemp. Welcome, Farah.
Hello, Jaimi. Thank you for having me.
Farah's been a longtime friend of mine, and she used to work with us over at Santa Cruz Core, and she's sprouted wings and has gone out on her own for some time now as a realtor. So can you tell us what got you into real estate?
Well, I guess the thing that got me into real estate was my entire family is in real estate. My parents are realtors, and they owned a mortgage company for a long time. My brother's a mortgage officer. My aunt's a loan officer.
Wow.
And so I kind of avoided it for a long time. I didn't want to join the family business. I didn't want to do real estate and land development. But I figured I had a lot of support. I had a lot of knowledge at my disposal, just being able to tap them when I had questions about things. And so I decided to give it a whirl. I wanted to make my own schedule. I like helping people and solving problems, complex problems sometimes. And I like the hustle and bustle. I like how fast paced it is. It's really hard work, but it's keeps you engaged. So.
How on average, what does the average real estate person sell? Is it one house a week, or is it a couple houses a year, or does it depend?
I think it depends, it depends on how much you market yourself, what kind of referrals you get. I think we're doing 2 a month right now, 2 or 3 a month. And occasionally it's more than that. So I think it depends on the market. How much you put into it is how much you get out of it, for sure. If you're trying to make a substantial living, one every couple months seems like it could carry you through, if you live within your means, which I live a very low key lifestyle. So it's nice. I prefer it that way.
Nice. So you're local to Santa Cruz, and is that where you mostly list your houses, or do you list, or also do you sell them, and are you working for the buyer and the seller, or how does that work?
So I'm local, but we have houses in Watsonville, Soquel, sometimes Aptos. I mean, it's all around the county. We will work in other counties too if the work calls us there. If someone wants us to list in Monterey or Santa Clara or something like that, we'll go there. I love listing houses. But we are currently working with 8 buyers right now, 8 motivated, engaged buyers. And that's always a little bit more time consuming, because you really have to be on top of what's new to the market, what prices have decreased, what are their needs and their wants, where do they want to be? And so it's a little bit more, it requires more, every single day you're doing something for 8 different buyers. And so it does take up a lot of time. It's fun though. You get to see houses, and these people are really sweet. And I love working with buyers and sellers. So we do it both. We do it all. We do commercial too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So your favorite is working for the seller, or what's your favorite?
I like working with the seller, probably listing, because it taps a little bit more into my marketing background. We have to do the photos, the videos, the 3D tours. We have to do the marketing packages for everything. Word of mouth, guerrilla marketing. So I feel like I have a lot of experience there. I do have a lot of experience in just general customer service, but I like that part because it's a lot of pieces. It comes together in a really nice pack.
All right, welcome back to Zoom Around Town. So Farah was telling us about what kind of client she enjoys. So tell us about the sellers.
So I mentioned a little bit about, I like the marketing aspect of listing properties. Getting all the information from sellers is a complex process, and sometimes requires us to go down to the county building and pull assessor records, permit files, environmental health records, and things like that, especially for rural properties. But I guess when it comes to sellers, it's a big deal to sell your house. It's not only a house, it's your home. You've invested a lot of money and time. For a lot of people, they're selling homes that they've owned forever. They're moving. And so it's a really big deal. And so it's important to treat them, really take care of them, make them feel like they're really taken care of, which we do. We care about our clients, and we care about our sellers, and we want them to feel taken care of. But I feel like that is sometimes they have to sell because they have to sell, or sometimes because they're moving. And so it's a variety really. And those are sellers I require also the same love and attention that buyers require. It's just a different type.
With the sellers these days, are you seeing a certain reason for people selling, or is it really varied?
It's super varied. A lot of people are moving out of the area. We have a few that, inherited houses from their parents who passed away sadly, and so they're selling. We have some folks who have to downsize. They, for some folks during this economy, it's come to the point where they got to downsize a little bit and make some changes. And then other people, they want to scale up, which is always really fun, because then, we help them find a different type of house for them, a bigger house. Some people that are working from home are looking for a bigger space. They're like, well, I'm going to work from home forever, so I might as well have a really nice office and get it all decked out. And it varies. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So with the people who are leaving the area, is it because of it's just really expensive to live here, or is it because now they can live anywhere because COVID?
I think it's both. I think you do have those people who it's expensive to live here, and they're thinking, why not move to, I don't know, Nevada or Idaho, or Montana is really popular these days. And I think for a lot of people, it's because they can work from anywhere. Their company is going entirely online. I'm not even sure if we're going to see the comeback of like big office buildings or things like that, especially when you can do the work online. So, yeah, I think the moving, it just depends. Some people were affected by the fire, and so they're selling their plot or their land.
Have you seen people start to do that already?
Yeah, just a couple though. I haven't seen too much. I think people are going to be probably trying to talk with their insurance and rebuild. But I have seen some vacant plots for sale.
Have people just decided that they don't want to rebuild and just go and buy a new house? Is that even possible?
I think for some, I'm not like an expert on insurance, all the nitty gritty inside. I believe some insurance policies are allowing people to claim their insurance money, but they don't have to rebuild. So that's a good insurance policy if whoever has that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. With COVID, how are you showing homes and everything? How does it work? Can people go in and actually like feel the home before they purchase it, or what's going on with that?
So COVID really threw us for a loop back in, March, because we had no idea what we were doing. Luckily, because housing is essential and we are low on housing, realtors actually we've been showing homes the entire time, but we have had to follow precautions. So we have to wear masks. In the beginning, we were wearing gloves, but that was removed from the requirements after a while, but we are careful to sanitize things. We have party limits. So one agent with, their buyer or their buyers, whether it be a couple or maybe even with a kid or something like that. So there are like limits to how many people we can come in. Usually, if you're looking at a house or you're selling a house where there's tenants, there's compromise to be made as far as like, okay, well, we're going to have showings. We're giving you advance notice. With COVID, I notice that there's a lot more consideration. Not that we aren't considerate, but we definitely try and sculpt things around what tenants need, because we don't want to bring people in and out of their home where they're living if they're not comfortable with that. So yeah, but we have been able to show. It's a little bit different. We have special forms we have to have everyone sign that are like coronavirus entry advisory forms, and so that takes a little bit more time, and it's more detailed. It's a more detailed process, but in a way, it's sort of we started adopting like new things, like using scheduling software, which makes life really easy for us. And, we started doing our own in-house 3D tours with our company using a special camera that's like, it looks like an Apple TV remote.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so people are really embracing the virtual tour. And so you're seeing some advance in that arena from a lot of agents. Most agents, I would say, are doing that. So it's really cool. It makes the online shopping experiences for homes like way more interactive and with tons more detail. So in some ways, it's actually improving the way we do business, I think. I will be excited, obviously, when we're able to move away from that. Not the online virtual tours, but all of the precautions and stuff, and people feel safe again. But for now, it is what it is, and we just go about our days.
So gone are the days of open houses then.
I don't know if they'll come back, you know. I honestly, I'm not sure about open houses. I think we're probably looking more at like, well, on this day, we'll have scheduled appointments and we'll have a bunch of them so you can schedule. I think that's what we're going to end up starting to see. We tried to do this virtual open house thing. I'm not sure if it totally took off. I think people were like, well, you're going to carry me around the house and show me stuff, like, you know. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how that shapes out. I think the virtual tours were really cool and they're getting better. So you can walk around and click and go through every room, and you could even, depending on how complex you want to get, you could look inside the cabinets or drawers or whatever. Wow. So yeah.
Well, that's fancy.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty neat. It's so easy though. It's like, so it doesn't seem fancy when you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Just with the virtual camera, it makes me think that it would be a wide angle lens, and so everything would look a lot bigger than it actually is. So I definitely would want to be the kind of person who is in the house and is feeling how it feels and all that.
Yeah, there are some disparities, I think, with what the camera looks like and what the house looks like. So I would definitely encourage people, if they're feeling safe, to call us and we'll explain the procedure to them. And we follow all the precautions, and it comes down from the state. So, you know, we're very careful.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what was the company that you're with?
We're Main Street Realtors. We're a little company with a big reach. That's our motto.
Nice. And why did you choose to join that team?
I actually got approached by the owner of Main Street Realtors, and he offered me a position as sort of his junior partner agent. So I work closely with him. We pretty much do everything together. It's like it's a split. And so he's extremely successful, extremely knowledgeable. And I figured I would come in, learn from the best. And he has taught me a lot. He's taught me a ton in terms of just ways to handle precarious situations, things to look for as far as, you know, what the county has to offer. He's resources, local people who are experts in the field or the industry. So it's really invaluable, the experience I'm getting from him. So I decided to jump on board.
That's awesome.
Of my companies too. As you know, I work for Santa Cruz Core too, and working for somewhere small where you can actually talk to the owner, you can talk to your boss face to face and have some good dialogue is really important to me.
Yeah, no, I think that's important. We have a small business and definitely want to connect with everyone as much as we can. So are you seeing a huge influx of people from over the hill come and buy houses here? That's my burning question.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We are seeing so many people, and it is kind of crazy. We're going to see it probably a lot more. And I don't know how long it'll go on for, until maybe all of the ones who want to move over here. But yeah, I think since COVID, they're all tech you can do from pretty much anywhere, we have discovered during COVID. And they had these big, beautiful campuses, and now they're all working from home, and we're getting a bunch of people from, you know, some of the bigger tech companies. I mean, you know, Mountain View is great, but if you can live by the beach and work, why not? Right.
Right. Do you think that the tech companies will open their campuses back up, or do you think this is a permanent shift?
Oh gosh, that I don't know. That maybe one day. Yeah, I think. I don't know. I am optimistic, so I like to think, yes, they will. We'll get out of this. Everyone will be great, and you know, it'll be like the 1918 influenza, when all of a sudden you have the Roaring 20s, and it's like super fun and awesome, and everyone's back to normal and happy again. So I'm staying optimistic.
That sounds like a great point of view and perspective. Well, let's take a quick break. You're here with Farrah Kemp and myself, Jaimi Jansen, with Zoom Around Town. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back with Farrah Kemp, our special guest, Zoom Around Town with Jaimi Jansen. Farah, before we pick up with our next questions, I'd like to know how we can find you. I know that, I'm looking to invest in real estate at some point. How do another house? How do we get in touch with you?
Well, the best way is
probably
I'm having a little bit of feedback. Sorry. Let me re-answer that question. The best way is probably to call or text me. And my number is 831-234-3930. But of course, like many millennials my age, you can always find me on social media. So facebook.com/FarahKemp Realtor, or you can reach me at Kempco Realty on Instagram.
Or houses, are they on your Instagram or a website or?
Yes, if you go to mainstreetrealtors.com, you can see a complete list of all of the listings that we have. We have actually blog posts we update every other week or so, sometimes every single week, and they're pertinent to what's been happening. So I think the last one we had was multiple offer melee, and it's how to navigate the insane demand that's going on right now. Buyers are competing. So, information about the fires, information about gross rent multipliers, whatever you want to know about, we got it on there for you.
Market.
What?
So it's
Sorry.
a seller's market?
Yeah, it definitely is. Well, interest rates are super low right now. They're crazy. The money is cheap. So if you can't afford to buy a home, or you think you might be able to, I highly recommend getting pre-qualified right now. Find out what you can get approved for and start looking, because now is the time to buy. That being said, it is a seller's market. We have low inventory and a lot of buyers. And so we do have multiple offer situations happening on the reg for sure.
Low interest rates. What is a low interest rate? Like 5%? What's low?
Oh, no, we're looking at 3%. 3% interest rate. My brother was able to, he's a loan officer, like I mentioned in the beginning. He was able to get a couple of our buyers pre-approved for 2.99 and a point. So it's really good. And if you have good credit and an income and some savings, I would look at buying right now. It's kind of a weird seller's market, but it's also a good time to buy if you're a buyer because the money's cheap. So
I know that there's some what is it called? Measure J housing, and there's also special lending for first-time homebuyers and veterans. Do you work with any people like that?
Yeah, we do have some like FHA, first-time homebuyer people that are taking advantage of those programs. We don't have a Measure J listing right now, but that's basically Santa Cruz County's low income or affordable housing program. It has some stipulations like income caps for depending on how many people that you have to live and work in the area for at least 6 months. So it's really geared towards people who are trying to make Santa Cruz their home, but need a little assistance. There are a couple on the market. So I saw a cute one down in Aptos. That's really cute. So if you know any Measure J or people who think they might be interested in that program, there's some cute stuff out there for them. VA, I don't have any VA clients right now, but I do know a couple people who have gotten VA loans. And I believe they increased the amount specifically because people needed to be able to buy property where they come from, and some places it's way more expensive than other places. So
VA loan, and yeah, the cap in Santa Cruz is higher than in the rest of the country because
right.
of how much money the housing market is costing these days.
Yeah, but I love to see that. I like to see veterans being taken care of like that and being given, hey, if anyone's going to get it, right, it should be people who put everything on the line to serve the country, I think. So
do you find that the houses that you're selling right now are like the primary home, or are these vacation homes that you're having people buy?
I have one couple that's looking for a vacation home, but they plan to make it their permanent home when their kids finish school. Everyone I'm looking for right now, it's going to be their primary residence. So yeah, people really are trying to move here and settle down and put down some roots in the area. I'm sure there are people looking for vacation homes because the rates are really good. And so if they wanted to buy a second home, I guess it would be the time. So
residence here, because then it totally changes the way people vote too, if it's their primary residence. And then also it just makes me feel better that they're not going to people who have second homes, especially with such a housing crunch.
Yeah, definitely.
So how has the fire impacted the market? Are people afraid to live in the hills now and they all want to live in town? Or are you just seeing that like now there's less to sell?
I'm sure there are some people who are like, why would I buy up there now? And then but it's properties moving up there still, and people are excited to live there. And we have a listing in Boulder Creek. The house 2 doors down got burnt down, but our listing didn't. And we have tons of showings on that property. So it's still possible to get insurance up there with certain companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as far as that goes, it was a little over 950 or homes that were taken, and so that is, less housing on the market. So you do have a lot of properties being rented out to people who are in need of properties. So we had a client open her home up for people who needed a place to stay. So that was really cool to see.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and he actually is ending up buying the place. So.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What's interesting too is that I would think that like now that people are going to rebuild, the people in that area, all the property value will go up because there'll be all these newer homes.
Yeah, I think that's definitely possible. You're going to see some sprucing up of some old mountain cabin neighborhoods, which will be cool. It'll be cool to see. And I'm excited to see, I've heard a lot of talk and seen a few things online about new technologies like for fireproofing your house. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like too, and what materials they're going to be using and these new advancements or inventions or whatever. So I will love to see that. I'll be excited.
Oh, absolutely. Me too.
Yeah.
So Farrah, can you tell us again how to reach you?
Sure. You can reach me by phone, 831-234-3930. On Instagram at Kempco Realty. That's KEMPCO Realty. On Instagram on Facebook at Farrah Kemp Realtor, facebook.com/Farrah Kemp Realtor. Or you can always email me at farrah@mainstrealtors.com.
Awesome. So with your ideal client, who is that? Can you describe that person for us?
Buyer or seller? Ideal buyer or seller?
Let's do both.
Okay. My ideal buyer is someone who's super engaged and they are like they are on it. They'll drop whatever they're doing to go see a house the next morning or sometime that afternoon, because sometimes what happens is you get a little bit of stagnation. You go look at homes and then you don't find what you want, and so we stagnate a little bit. So it's nice because I think when a buyer's really engaged, it keeps us both really on the ball, which we always are, but it's nice to have, like, when someone's like waiting to go see the next place right away, you get really excited when you find off market properties or you're like really hunting stuff down, and it's just it's like a team effort. So yeah, team effort. Folks that are realistic about what they can afford. And the reason I say that is because it's heartbreaking whenever you are looking outside of your bracket, that your realistic bracket, and then you find your dream home and you can't afford to get that one. Yeah. It's a dampener. It puts we're all super sad when that happens. And so I definitely like to see us working within a realistic frame. Obviously I want them to have whatever they want, but it's more of like I want them to be happy and find their dream home, and sometimes that's within a certain space.
Right.
Let's see. Sellers. Oh, I love sellers that have every single work order they've ever done, all of their plans and reports they've ever had, and we have a very thorough and complete disclosure package to give to potential buyers or their agents that come along. Makes it my favorite thing to do, and this is how I like to operate, is I like to get all our ducks in a row before we even list a house. And so I want the disclosures done. I want all the packages, the pictures, everything to be tip top and perfect. And then you hit on the market and everything's set and ready to go. So if I love it when my buyers are open to having the pest and home inspections done beforehand, and they're really committed to just getting things done right away. And I know for some people it's a massive transition to compile all the information about a house to put it together. So I completely understand, and I work with people, but I do like it. Like, I guess tech people who sell their house, because I feel like they're so organized and they have everything. It's all digital, and you're like, yes, this is great.
That's awesome. So what's the amount of time that someone is kind of in the market with you before they actually, from like the start of becoming your client to getting into a home?
It varies. It varies. We have, I'm working with a couple right now that they've been looking for over a year and a half. So, and they're looking for that unicorn home, and then we have another couple, we saw like 2 places, put an offer in, got into contracts and closed in 30 days. So it was like, they happen really quick. So I think sometimes it varies. I have one client who's like, I'm thinking about buying in like 4 months. And so it's sporadic. You never know you never know when it's going to be. Yeah.
I remember when I bought a home and it was like, I did not think I'd be able to get into a home within a year, and believe it or not, it happened. And I think that with the right realtor, it can really, it really does work. You guys are just so incredible at matching and hearing everything that's going on in the market. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I think something that I've learned as I've worked longer as a realtor is sometimes I have to think out of the side of the box for my clients. I'll find a property that I'm like, I feel like this could really work for them, and they might not think the same, but when they go see it and they love it, that's like my favorite thing that happens, because I just feel like I did it. I knew it. I knew you'd like this one. So
like a matchmaker.
It is like a matchmaker. Uh-huh. It's a love story.
It is. Well, awesome, Farah. Thank you so much for joining us on Zoom Around Town. And if you want to check out Farah, check out mainstreetrealtors.com. And then what is it? Main Street. Tell us all your information one more time.
Yeah, it's mainstreetrealtors.com. That is our website. It's super comprehensive. It has a lot of good stuff. So you can go check that out. You can email me at farah@mainstreetrealtors.com. So it's like street, but it's just abbreviated. On Instagram at Kempco Realty. And on Facebook at facebook.com/Farah Kemp Realtor, or call or text me anytime, 831-234-3930.
Awesome. You're such an awesome guest. Thanks so much. And thanks for joining us on Zoom Around Town. Until next time.
Thanks, Jaimi.